Alright, what's going on, guys? Yes, we're in the project back at it again in here for the video for you guys for today. And today's video basically going to be having it for Pro Wrestling today and for WWE NXT Takeover WarGames. And gonna get right down into my thoughts and opinions and just go down the card and give you my overall thoughts in the end. So for the first match where we had, of course, WarGames, I wasn't too sure how it's gonna be looking and everything since they were in basically the Performance Center now, the Capital Wrestling Arena, and it's cool they were able to bring in another ring in back since they used to have all those rings for training and everything. So they were able to add the 2 rings and the steel cage, 2 steel cages actually, as a matter of fact. So you know, the setup didn't look too bad or weird or anything like that. It looked actually really cool, like as if they were in any typical arena. So for the women's side of things, when we had Team Shotzi Blackheart, of course she was in there, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. And on the other side, we had Team Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez on this one. And this one, I wasn't too sure if it was gonna, start the show or be in the main event and everything, but it did start things off, and, we saw a lot, definitely for sure, between all the women and everything, between Rhea Ripley and as well Raquel Gonzalez, continuing things with their feud and everything. So a lot to really offer there, and we saw more of that heelish stuff by Toni Storm, even though I wasn't expecting it too much, but gonna see where it goes, and it's definitely something to look out for. Shotzi doing a lot too, as well, just trying to make sure her team gets the win and everything. We saw the weapons, of course, on this one, like the kendo sticks and everything, everybody doing their best on this one, so it was definitely insane as all hell. But we actually had Team Candice actually winning over Shotzi Blackheart's team, so I'm not really too mad at that. So that's definitely something crazy for sure. And we'll see what happens with the rest of the women, see where else they're going to be going and everything, like who's going to be able to face Io Shirai and stuff like that, and is Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez still going to continue things, that sort of thing. So definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. Then we get into the strap match between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes, and this one basically going at it ever since Halloween Havoc. And Cameron Grimes, trying to almost in a way kind of get out of it, but he actually brought his own strap and everything, so trying to get the early advantage, but Dexter Lumis does come back and eventually gets the run. So I don't think Cameron Grimes will actually be the same again after facing Dexter Lumis, who has been on the roll just as much as Cameron Grimes has. Then we get into the North American Championship match, the vintage triple threat, and where we had Leon Ruff, basically Damian Priest on this one, doing battle with also Johnny Gargano. And with this one, I wasn't too sure, didn't really know a whole lot about Leon Ruff, but eventually, slowly but surely, kind of, becoming a little bit of a fan of him ever since he won the North American Championship. And then we get into the next match where we had Timothy Thatcher and as well Tommaso Ciampa on this one. And this one was a literally fucking brawl between the two, and basically getting bloodied up and everything, mainly Timothy Thatcher and everything, and just trying to find a way to stop each other. But it took a lot, and definitely took the effort, and to see who would be able to stop each other first and everything. Tommaso Ciampa actually getting the win, which is fine and everything. I want to see this continue, and Thatcher has been pretty interesting to watch, and definitely for sure, and I want to see what more he can do, and I like what he's doing. So this can be, I can see this kind of actually being a long-term feud for the two and everything, and we'll see what comes out of this, definitely for sure. As it kind of like backfired on Damian Priest and everything, trying to have like that respect sort of in a way, but also messing with him at the same time. Johnny Gargano, also backfiring with his stuff and his plans on, with the whole, the spinning of the wheel and everything, and had to have that open challenge. So trying to get the championship back, and all three of these guys, going at it, and where we had that crazy spot by the barricade where Leon Ruff was taken up by Damian Priest, which is crazy as all hell. And then wasn't too sure if he was going to come back. Eventually he did come back and everything, but of course Johnny Gargano was able to somehow, someway regain the North American Championship, which is fine. So we'll see where things go. And there wasn't really a whole lot going on in terms of like matches and everything, which is understandable. So basically that was the only championship on the line, since we had Io Shirai, the women's champion, in the War Games match for the women. And then we get basically right into the main event, where we have Undisputed Era and of course Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and as well Danny Burch on this one. And I gotta give props to Pat McAfee. He actually went out there. He not only did, the wrestling thing, but he actually went out there and did like a swanton bomb from the steel cage, which is crazy. He actually, put in the effort on that, so that was something interesting. We had the tables on this one. We definitely had the chairs and stuff like that. It was just wild and crazy, as most War Games matches are. And it could have went basically either or, but Undisputed Era ended up actually getting the win. And they've been in most War Games matches, which is crazy and insane, but they ended up actually standing tall, getting their payback and everything. So we'll see what happens with that. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch as heels, definitely I like that a lot more. I think it suits them well, especially with Pete Dunne being a Pat McAfee. And we'll see how that actually continues or not. Probably not, and I'm sure Pat McAfee will go back to doing like the podcast and stuff like that, unless he's gonna stick around and actually still be with the brand and do other stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. So definitely a good show for sure. Not a whole lot of matches again, like I said, for NXT Takeover War Games, and I was actually very surprised that we were able to actually have it, despite what's going on in the world right now. So I definitely like War Games. Not used to it being in December. I wish it would go back to actually where it used to be for Survivor Series weekend. But it is what it is, and for the final takeover of the year, and hopefully you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving and enjoy your upcoming Christmas, and as well New Year's coming up. So 2020 is basically almost done, and thank God, get that hell out of the way. And we'll see what looks into 2021, hopefully a lot better year and everything. So those are my thoughts on NXT TakeOver War Games. And what are your thoughts? Those are mine. Leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll definitely talk about War Games in the comments as well. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video, whatever the hell the next video may be. Until then, as always, stay safe. See ya and peace.